Steven. No.
No,
Dave.
Yeah,
Dave Vescio. I'm sorry, dude. I had the old page.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. I'm just making sure you guys can hear me.
Yes.
I'm like a weird place.
What's going on, Dave?
We're coming back from
I'm
break.
good. I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you
How
for
are you
calling
guys?
us. Drunk.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
A little. I gotta take another shot of Windsor, though, even though you're the other Dave, so we'll pretend like this is Dave Hodge and I have to take a shot.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
you know?
we have a friend, Dave Hodge, who said every time he calls, Slim has to take a shot, so Slim's taking a shot.
Right. Even though you're not Dave Hodge,
Hey,
but
take
you're
a shot.
Dave.
Take two for me. So.
Right.
I wish I had a shot right now.
I wanted to ask, it said on your profile, you're an ex-con and an actor.
Yes, I am.
Wow.
That I am.
So,
Are you like Danny Trejo? Like, what was that guy's name?
Danny
Trejo.
Trejo.
Yeah.
Danny Trejo? Yeah, Danny Trejo's an ex-con, too. There's a couple others, like Charles S. Dudden, and then Tim Allen. Tim Allen's probably the most famous one of all.
What did you do that landed you in jail?
So I was in the infantry in the United States Army, and we had a motto, work hard, play hard, and let's just say I played way too hard. Before I knew it, I started doing LSD. Before I knew it, became a middleman in an LSD drug cartel.
Oh.
Wow. I was literally trying to take over the whole LSD empire in the Hawaiian Islands.
Wow.
Yeah, and during the time I was selling to an undercover agent, and I knew it, and I enjoyed it. I sort of kind of like that whole cat and mouse game, but that just led me to Fort Leavenworth Prison, which is a hard labor maximum prison in Kansas, and then they sentenced me to 10 years. I did 5 years total. So,
Well, yeah.
and that was back in 1993. I got out in 1998, so it's been a while.
Yeah.
So.
I don't understand that the cat mouse thing. Like, you knew you were selling to an undercover agent. Like, why didn't you just?
I love mind games. You know, I mean, that's one of the reasons I loved prison so much as well. It's like, you know, I always tell people, you know, the Army taught me physical warfare, but prison taught me psychological warfare. I don't know. I just love mind games.
So what do you mean? Like, I'm just kind of confused to what kind of mind games you can play with a guy that he pretty much had you. Like, what were you just like? You would sell him drugs and then try to like hide so he couldn't find you. Like, I don't understand.
Well,
give
yeah,
other
that's
people
the
up?
thing. Yeah, I didn't say this. I was on the run for a year and a half. FBI, ATF, CID, HPD, bounty hunters, they were all searching for me.
Wow.
So,
Holy
yeah.
shit.
And the only reason I got caught is I got drunk in public, blacked out, got in a fight with someone, and, you know,
Wow.
I didn't know I got arrested until I got arrested because I blacked out.
Oh my God, dude! I saw your acting reel, and you look like you have some intense roles, like some badass roles. And I was gonna ask if you get those because of your past.
I think so. You know, I truly believe that, you know, professional art is just truth, and it's truth that you understand better than most. And,
Yeah.
you know, I'm not going to say I'm the best at what I do, but I definitely understand it better than most people in this industry. No,
Wow.
I definitely agree to that. So, and not only that, I think, you know, I don't think there's a lot of us actors who want to be seen as the villain, you know, or who wants to play child molesters or child rapists or, you know, killing of kids. I think, you know, I think it takes a different kind of human being to be seen that way by the general public.
As I was gonna say, yeah, some of them that were creepy. They just gave me the creeps, the roles you had, and it was only 3 different clips, I think. But it was the one with the girl in the bathroom stall. That was.
Oh yeah, that was. Go ahead.
And then also the other one where you were in the bar, and I don't know if the guy was slow or what, but you were telling him to just go up and like grab the chick, and that she would love that.
Yeah. The first movie, it's I only do indie films because, you know, we get to talk about social causes that, you know, that everybody else tends to stay away from. So the movie Hick is actually based on a novel. And it had Chloë Moretz in it. It had Oscar winner Eddie Redmayne, Blake Lively, Alec Baldwin, Juliette Lewis, Anson Mount. It had a huge cast.
Wow.
Yeah, and the funny thing, well, it's not funny. It's actually sad if you think about it. But 60% of the movie is actually based on the novelist's story, her own personal story. So the scene that you saw in my demo reel where, you know, I'm attacking Chloe in the bathroom, I remember I was on set shooting that stunt scene, and the screenwriter novelist was there, and she's like, "This actually happened to me." So I knew right then and there I had to like make it honest and truthful.
You were getting your head slammed in the fucking stall door too, bro. I was like, wow, that's like the scene from Kill Bill when he got his head smashed in the door.
Yeah.
That's got to be hard for her to be watching that,
right?
And, like, wanting to relive that. Like, that's
would think.
crazy.
Yeah, I think it's just her way. I don't know her whole story. I just, know the story just from reading her novel. But the novel is about a 13-year-old girl who grows up in a dysfunctional family but runs away from home. Well, what's the reality if a young teenage girl runs away in today's world, And, and she's in her 30s, so this happened to her, 20 years ago. So, it's like, it's just a warning to kids and parents, And not only that, like, I do a lot of these type of characters, and I just did a movie called Wolf Mother with Golden Globe nominee Tom Sizemore in it, and it's about sexual trafficking of preteens, and I've done a lot of research and all this stuff, and they say if a kid runs away in the United States in today's world, within 36 hours, the mass majority of them will get picked up for sex trafficking.
Holy fuck, that's fucked up, man.
Wow,
Shit.
holy shit.
36 hours?
Yeah, 36
Holy
hours. Majority of them will get picked up for sex trafficking.
Wow.
That's one of those things that makes you like kind of just like there's no hope for humanity because what you want
to have kids.
What you want to hear is like in 36 hours a kid gets picked up and brought to the police station.
Goes back home. Yeah, you don't want to hear that. Oh,
well, it also shows you how little they're actually doing about it, though.
They're picking them up.
If they're getting picked up.
They're doing a lot.
No, what I'm saying is like law enforcement's really not really doing much.
I think it comes down to parents.
And parenting is it's just
gone.
it's just a mixture of things.
Yeah,
it's like
fuck.
No, it's one of the reasons why I do these movies. Because I just want the truth to start getting out there to the world.
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about doing an indie film. We're not just there to entertain you, but we can also educate you at the same time. So
that's cool. I was actually curious. You had mentioned earlier how a lot of people don't want to take roles like that because of how like the public would perceive them. Does that happen to you? Do you ever go out and somebody kind of reacts to you as if you were that character in that movie, or it's like a little standoffish towards you?
Yeah, I mean, I've only had 2 people ever come up to me if they recognize me. Like the whole time I've ever done this, like everybody else like keeps their distance. But I'll be honest with you, I trained at David Mamet's conservatory in New York, and just in case you don't know who he is, he's a famous Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright. And he told us, back in the old days, actors would scare the crap out of the audience so much that they would bury them at the crossroads with a stake through their heart. And I don't know, when he told me that, I was just like, wow, like that's the kind of art I want to create. That's the kind of response I want to get.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. The guy.
Yeah.
I always wondered, like the guy that played Buffalo Bob in like the Silence
or
of the
I was
Lamb,
even
he's
thinking
gotta
just
get like shit.
Yeah.
Even just Hannibal. Who was that? That guy was famous, right?
I'll be honest, that's the best villain role I've ever seen by an actor.
Yeah.
So
or Hannibal, like who was that? I forget his name.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Yeah, like
he was able to do other things. Though.
Yes,
like,
he was.
Buffalo Bob is like he's always gonna be Buffalo Bob.
yeah. Ted Levine, totally.
Yeah.
I actually I wanted to know what was it like meeting Tom Sizemore, because I've heard like interviews and stuff with him, and he seems like a really cool dude.
He's a great guy.
I like him
I'll be
as
honest
Jack
with you.
Scagnetti.
Every single famous actor I've ever met is like great. Like the troublemakers are like the non-famous ones.
Wow.
It's so weird how it is.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
I love them
they're
in
all great. They're all professional, respectful.
Wow.
They show up on time. They do a phenomenal job on set.
Cool.
Yeah. You hear these stories, but sometimes I wonder, are these stories just publicity stunts to get the movie scene or the TV show scene?
I loved him in Natural Born Killers
Yeah,
as Jack Scagnetti. the cop.
Oh yeah.
He was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask
No,
you
I'll be
too.
honest.
Oh,
The troublemakers are always the non-famous ones.
wow, that's
Yeah.
hard to imagine. Yeah, I figured the famous ones will be getting in more trouble.
You would think, but it just makes me wonder. Maybe it's just a publicity stunt, just
Yeah.
to sell more,
I was gonna ask you too. I saw you were on Jimmy Kimmel as a meth head.
Yeah, I did that about a year ago. That was fun. So
That's cool. How was he working with?
I didn't meet him, so I I honestly don't know. Yeah. So basically, when they were filming our sketch shows, they were filming his show at the same time.
Oh,
So I didn't get to personally meet him at all.
that
And
sucks.
I was only there, I think, for like 4 hours. Like I came in, banged it up, and then left. So.
Yeah. What's the most fun you've had doing a role?
Oh wow, most fun, man. I don't know. All my roles are very dark and creepy. They're not always so fun to play.
That's what
I
I was.
didn't know.
That's what I was
Yeah, I
thinking
didn't
too.
know
I
if
was
you
about
had
to say
one.
like, oh yeah, when he played that character that raped that 9-year-old
Well,
girl, that was really cool.
I didn't know if you had one that you've enjoyed, like, or are they all like
no,
that?
those are the worst, man. Like I
Yeah.
hate going to those places. Yeah. Most fun. Damn, that's a tough question. I don't know. I guess the most fun is just the reaction from the audience.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess that's where I get the fun out of it. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love performing and I love playing these characters, but at the same time, I have to go to very dark places to play these people.
Okay.
Now
I didn't
you-
know if you ever did any others like that weren't like that.
Huh? Oh, I've pretty much, this is all I've ever really done is just antagonists and villains,
Yeah.
Even in my commercials, like I used to do national commercials for 6 years before I just focused on indie film. And, even then I was still the antagonist of each of these commercials.
Wow.
Have you done any like TV series or anything like that, or you just stick to the independent films?
No, I'll be honest with you. I'm just not a fan of TV at all. Yeah, I mean, I never have been really. I've always, my whole childhood, I've just really just been into movies. And then when I started acting, I wanted to do theater, and then I just realized, oh wait, I can do both. It's called indie film. So, yeah. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I got nothing against TV shows, TV actors, TV writers. It's just not my cup of tea. So
I would think because I've been really big lately into like the DC universe is doing a lot of TV shows like Arrow and the Flash and stuff like that. Like being like a one-off villain in that would be fucking awesome. I would think.
yeah, I really just prefer the controversial stories. The
Right.
stories that really make people think, ponder, and question. I don't want you to turn off the TV set and then turn on another TV show. I want you to turn off the movie and go, "What did I just watch?"
Yeah.
I've done
Yeah, and
that
not
many
only that, I
times.
want you to talk to people about it for days, if not weeks or years. I mean, the goal is for you to talk about it forever.
Yeah.
And I know when don't get me wrong, I do watch a few TV shows, but I know for me, as soon as I get done watching a TV show, I just switch to the next TV show. Like I don't stop
Right.
and think about it. Yeah.
I've got a question. Is there any serial killer that, in particular, that you would ever really want to play?
That I would or would not.
That you would really want to play?
If I was shorter, I would love to play Adolf Hitler. He's probably the most famous serial killer that there is,
Yeah.
But, but one, I don't know. I mean, I would literally have to transform myself. I would have to learn German and, so.
I've always,
But no, he fascinates me because, I don't know if these stories are true or not, but a lot of people are saying that, that he was Jewish, and if he was Jewish, then why did he do this to his own people? Like,
Yeah.
what happened in his childhood to make him hate Jewish people?
I've always-
And people loved him.
I've always thought that if he never made it, rose to power, he'd probably be stalking the streets of Vienna, just killing people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
killing Jews.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, too. He's like Charles Manson. I don't think he personally killed people, but he convinced people to kill people.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so I'm curious. Like you were talking about earlier how how you want like these films that people can really sit down and think, and you wanted to think about it for like years. Is there a work that you have done that you think has reached that goal?
Yeah, Hick has definitely done that.
What is
when
it called?
Came out,
Hick.
Hick,
Okay.
Hick. When it came out in the theaters in 2012, the critics really tried to kill it because they're like, "Well, we already have a Lolita, we already have a hound dog, why do we have to keep on rehashing these storylines about kids being raped, So that just tells me right then and there we have a problem that we don't want to talk about, So the adults were never a fan of it, but it was very smart for Derek Martini because he was the director of the film. He hired these young actors who had these young fan bases. Chloë Moretz, Blake Lively, Alec Baldwin. I mean, not Alec Baldwin, but Eddie Redmayne, Rory Culkin. And because of their fan base, it's literally spread across the world. Like, people every single day tweet about this movie, So I would say that's the one that's connected the most with people. I know my movie, the one that you saw me in my demo reel where I'm acting with the slow guy, well, that slow guy in the movie has autism. So I know it, and I did a movie called The Odd Way Home with Rumer Willis and then Chris Marquette. And I know that's slowly going through the autism community as well. But I think that's about it, really, so far. But my movie Wolf Mother that comes out next year, I think that one's going to spread too. So, because we're getting a lot of hype from the fans right now, and we haven't even really released anything except for movie posters and promo posters.
What's that one about?
So that one is about a child star who gets kidnapped and sold into sex trafficking. And she's a preteen. She's 9, 10, 11 years old, something like that. And this troublemaker young man who wants to correct his ways finds an ex-child star who's in prostitution and understands this world. So he's trying to use her to to figure out, where this girl is hiding at so he can rescue her, so he can, save his own name.
Wow.
So, yeah.
They say there really is a big problem with that out in Hollywood, though, with the child stars. I've heard, interviews with Corey Feldman saying, he was...
Oh, yeah, totally, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's dark.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was, one of my friends is Amy Berg, and she makes documentaries, about these young kids being molested or raped. And I think her one film about, based on a true story about this priest who did it, got nominated for an Oscar or something. But she came out with a movie this year about what you just said about Corey Feldman and all the rest of these kids who got, hurt by these producers on set, or off set. Yeah, so... No, sex trafficking is a huge problem in the United States right now. Nobody's talking about it, though, which really scares me because it's when are we going to start talking about this when it's a bigger problem?
That's how you know how to deal with it. When you tell your kids, don't lick a Scooby-Doo stamp. They're not going to, you got to tell them about this shit.
It starts out with runaways, and when's it going to get to the point where they're snatching kids out of people's backyards,
Yeah.
So
and not only that, where do you guys live at?
New Jersey.
Yeah, so, I live down here on the Mexican border. These Mexican borders are so easy to cross over. You can take a kid from California, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and get them across the border before you knew it, know?
Yeah, wow.
So I had gotten a little curious, and I just looked up your movie Hick on Metacritic, and this is how you know critics just don't know what they're talking about, because the Metascore based on 10 critics is a 28, which is really, really low. But then the user score is a 6.5, which is actually pretty good, and that's based on almost the same amount of users. You have 7 negative reviews from critics, and then you have 5 positive reviews from just regular people.
Yeah.
So
it's just critics just don't know.
No, they don't.
They've never known. It's just that there was never anybody to call. Back in the day before the internet, there was never anybody to call them out.
Exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Exactly.
That's very true. Yeah. But even the movie, the autism one, The Odd Way Home. Like, I remember we came out in the theaters in 2014, and, you know, the critics are like, oh, you know, this is like another Rain Man movie. I'm like, Rain Man came out when? The 90s, early 90s, late 80s?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
what, we can't tell the autism story ever again? It's like, well,
That's just
really?
a shitty
Like,
way to.
a large percentage of Americans have, you know, mentally challenged kids, and Rain Man's the only movie that speaks for them.
Right?
Are you
And
kidding me?
it's not like it's a shitty remake. Like,
Yeah,
everything
it's-
else they're doing is. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what was the video, what was the movie you were in where you were the cab driver getting choked?
Oh, that's actually a crime thriller movie. It's called what's it called? It's called The Millionaire Tour. So that came out. It was actually made. It was like one of the very first movies made for the internet.
Wow.
I'm trying to remember when it came out. Maybe 2011, 2012. Yeah, and Michael Eisner, the ex-CEO of Disney, he created an internet movie company called Fugaroo, and this is like one of the very first ones that came out. So
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty cool. Like, I don't know, I'm the kind of guy, like, I love doing controversial movies, but if it's not controversial, I love doing something that's new and different, and that was new and different at the time. So, you know, because everybody's like, oh, you know, a movie has to come out, you know, on DVD, or it has to go to the movie theaters. Well, because of Netflix, because of Hulu, because of Amazon Prime Video, you know, things are totally different than what they were a few years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like right now, like I'm going to be on set for a horror film called Lucifer in January, and like half the cast are like YouTube stars. You know,
Wow.
so it's like, yeah, like everything's changing, and I love being a part of that process as well. And even if it, you know, even if these movies don't do good in the beginning, it still like starts a movement where it sooner or later it catches on.
Yeah.
So, and I love to be the part of, you know, don't get me wrong, I would love to be in the movie that becomes the hit, but if it just gets the people moving in the right direction, I'm fine with that too. So.
Now, are there any like big name movies or Hollywood blockbusters that have been out recently that you feel are decent, or do you like dislike most movies that are out?
For me, it tends to be like the Oscar contenders. You know, I prefer those. I know sometimes the studios do help make those. You know, like 12 Years a Slave, Dallas Buyers Club. You know. The Millionaire Baby. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more into. I don't know. It's just for me. It's more about when you leave the movie, I want you to talk about it versus going, oh wow, that's great. You know, I don't know. I'm not really into just entertaining them.
Right,
You know?
you're not
There's
gonna
nothing wrong
like.
with
You're
that.
not too into like the Marvel movies or like anything like that, like
No.
Terminator.
No, like one of my old friends, Sebastian Stan. When I trained in New York, I lived on 3rd Street in Bowery, and I lived in a building. I think we had like, I don't know, 20 apartments or something, and the guy who lived next to me was Sebastian Stan, and Sebastian Stan plays the main villain in the Captain America movies right now. What's the name of the character?
Red, is that?
No, not Red Skull. That was Hugo Weaving.
He
Winter Soldier?
becomes Captain America in the comic book.
Okay,
he
the
becomes
Winter
Captain
Soldier.
America.
Yeah, he just
Yeah, the
okay.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, so he was my next door neighbor for plenty of years, and I got to know him very well. And and I remember him and I used to talk about it. But that's his dream, and I'm so happy for him, and I want it to continue. Like I remember he came out with a movie about male witches. I think it came out in like 2006, 2007, and it was supposed to be a summer blockbuster, and it just didn't hit for him. You know, so he's been trying to do this forever. But then, you know, he played the Winter Soldier, and everything's different for him.
Right.
So,
Now, what was I going to say? Oh, have you seen Whiplash? Like that came out, I think, last year.
I love that.
Oh,
that was my favorite
fucking
movie.
amazing,
That was my
right?
favorite movie.
That was so good.
Yeah, those are the kind of movies I love.
That's what I figured.
totally.
Yeah. That was just, and just the way it ended too. Like it was kind of weird to like. It was weird. Like I didn't know if I wanted to cheer for the T-shirt. Or I was like, yeah, he accomplished what he did, or it was like that guy's fucked up. But it was still kind of cool. And that dude.
I'll
That
be
dude's an
honest
amazing
with
actor
you.
too.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That movie literally changed me. Like, I like helping people. Like, when people ask me questions, how do I become an actor? What do you suggest? I used to, like, spend a lot of time with these people and help them. And because of that movie, I don't do that anymore. Like, I'm very precise and to the point.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if they ask me if it's, like, if they ask me, hey, what do you think? I always, like, try to be polite. Oh, it's good. It's good. Now, I realize after watching that movie, that's wrong to do because they're going to accept that, oh, that's good, so I don't have to try.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that movie changed me, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it definitely changed my perspective, too. But we're going to have to wrap this up, man, so let everybody know, like, where they can find your stuff. I actually want to know, is your movie Hick, is that on, like, Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything like that?
Yeah, you can find Hick on Netflix.
Okay, I think I'm going to check that out.
iTunes, Amazon Video,
Cool.
For them to find me, you can find me at Twitter at Dave Vescio, Dave, V as in Victor, Escio, or you can find me on Facebook or just Google my name and there's like so many pages about me. So, yeah.
All right, Dave.
Thank you guys. Thank you. This was
Thank
fun.
you, Dave. You take care, man.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.